through that turn, don't you?
I tell you, it's more fun than you can believe. You get down there, you're running about 195 miles an hour, and you just give it a little cop. You just turn it in there and just turn it back to the right a little bit and just let it slip through that corner. It's a lot of fun to drive through there.
Now, Stacy Compton is making an unscheduled pit stop, so that smoke that we saw on the restart, actually he's going right to the garage. So we were correct in our assumption there. Stacy Compton had problems on the restart. Dick, what was it, a tranny going?
Yeah, it's a transmission, Eli. He's stuck in gear, so he's gone in the garage to try and repair it.
So he is joining Wally Dallenbach and Michael Waltrip in the garage as Tony Stewart in that number 20 spot picks up 5th from Bill Elliott in the number 94. Mike Skinner is still the race leader by 0.4 of a second. Took over the top spot at lap number 37. We're now at lap 42 of 200 here in Pocono. On a Monday morning, we welcome you back to Pocono International Raceway. You're looking at the 4th place and 5th place scramble right now. Jeff Burton, who has not had a top 5 finish since the race at Martinsville in late April. So certainly he is due. And Rusty Wallace, who has picked up over the years some significant wins here. He has 3 victories. And remember, he was leading here in July of '95, had to pit for fuel with 15 laps to go. He was also leading here a few years ago when the right side window came out of the car, and he had to stop to put in some new pop rivets there. He would have won here in June of '96 if he hadn't burned out the clutch. I mean, he probably could have had 6 or 7 wins here by now.
Yeah, and the car is just it's a bullet. He went by Jeff Burton, and he's opened up a 15-car length lead in just 2 laps there. So no matter what they do on pit stops, that car is coming back to the front.
Remember the 10, Johnny Benson, only 2 tires on the pit stops at lap 37. That's 10 laps ago. Just hanging right there is the Lycos machine.
He's been that way all year long. The longer they run on the tires and seems the car always has great balance, and I think it has to do with Johnny Benson just being so very good at setting the car up, because all year long this car has been potential winner.
You know, it's interesting, Glenn, he doesn't come in but for 2 tires. You automatically think, well, he's going to drop back, and that's not been the case.
Well, no, Eli, and I'm a little surprised that more guys didn't do that, because that caution came only about 5 or 6 laps after they had just been in the pits, 10 laps at the most. So they really didn't have that many laps on those left side tires, and left side tires don't get quite as bad a wear factor here as they do at some of the other places. So good, smart move by Benson and Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mark Martin, a couple other guys just to change 2 tires, because like I said, they only had just a relatively few laps on those left sides anyway. And if they weren't going to make major chassis adjustments where they needed to change a full set at a time, that was a smart thing to do. Certainly paying off for him and others right now.
Well, we get to find out who's got the muscle now as the 2 car is moving up right now. Rusty Wallace is absolutely flying up through there as he moves up on Tony Stewart now. Tony Stewart taking a look at Johnny Benson on the inside as they head down towards the turn. But I'll tell you, Johnny Benson's got a very fast car, and I stutter a little when I get excited.
1 3/10 seconds behind race leader Mike Skinner. This scramble right here. And Rusty is 1.7 back, as you see. Now 1.7 seconds is from the last car to the front car, Mike Skinner. That's what it looks like here at Pocono International Raceway. .49 of 200 laps on the board. There have been 11 different winners in the last 16 Winston Cup races here at Pocono. Welcome back, everybody, live at Pocono International Raceway on this Monday morning. A day delay due to rain and fog. We have had a change there in the 2nd spot. Tony Stewart, just a lap ago, made the pass on John Andretti. Here's first where he passed for 3rd spot, going around Johnny Benson in the number 10.
Handling quite well down the straightaway there. He got a good run up out of the corner there. That dictates how fast they run down. Down in turn one, Stewart's car just very, very quick.
That gave him third spot. He then went around Andretti to grab second, and now he's setting his sights on Mike Skinner, whose somewhat comfortable lead is now down to about 3.5 car lengths.
Yeah, it's like Stewart all of a sudden somebody said, okay, go ahead and start running, because he is flying up through here. Car's been very, very good in the corners, but whatever they've done to this car, I think they've made some air pressure adjustments or something, because he has really picked it up here.
You really have to dial a car. It's kind of like playing a tough golf course where you have to use every club in the bag. Same thing here at Pocono. It's just not standard by any stretch of the imagination. Look, Skinner goes up the limited banking, and Stewart has started salivating.
Not only that, he's starting to take over the lead. As they go down the tunnel turn, this ought to be simple.
And indeed it was, just out dragging Skinner down the Long Pond straightaway to turn number 2. So Skinner leads from 37 to 53, and Tony Stewart will take over at lap number 54. Let's check in Tony's pit.
Well, we're down here and everything is very, very calm. You might not even know that he took the lead. This is the 5th race in a row that he has led in Winston Cup competition. What's interesting about that is he hadn't led any until Richmond 5 races ago. But, you know, a lot of people were saying that Tony Stewart all of a sudden is just flying. But if you look at the record for year 2000, every race he finished except Daytona, where he had a pit road problem, he was in the top 10. So he hadn't been leading, but he had been running well. Now he's leading, and now he's winning. He's won 2 in a row and leading here at Pocono.
And it's interestingly a mixed bag, too. He only led 69 laps at Richmond, only led 2 laps at Charlotte, and, of course, dominated at Dover, led 242 laps, and then last week ran until the rains, led 13 laps, and got the win in the Kmart 400 at the Michigan Speedway.
Well, Ricky Rudd right now is trying to hold off Jeremy Mayfield, who's looking to the outside. If he makes that stick, that's hero material, but didn't make it stick yet. You know what I was noticing? The 3 Pontiacs in the top 5 right now. They have had some problems this year with downforce, and they did get a addition to the rear bumper on the car that gives it more downforce in the corners. And the Pontiacs seem to be up to speed now. They can run with Ford and then run with the Chevrolets.
Lap number 55, still in the early to mid stages of the Pocono 500. Wally Dallenbach coming back, 35 laps down. Remember that accident he had in lap 20 when he was hit by Sterling Marlin, went up into the wall?
That car looks like I look before I shave in the morning. That's a pretty ugly looking piece going around there, I'll tell you.
But he's out there getting points, and we give you points for showing up too.
Thank you.
Wally Dallenbach, 35 laps down. So that means Michael Waltrip and Stacy Compton are the only 2 drivers in the garage area right now. Michael Waltrip with engine failure. Stacy Compton can't get the car in gear, and they're working on a transmission problem. It's a cold, chilly, nasty day, but there's no rain, there's no fog. That's good.